Ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ètò tòní. Welcome guys, welcome. I'm so excited to see you. I'm so glad you are joining me from wherever you are joining today. I'm so excited to see you. Oh, today we're talking about the benefits of teaching our children Yoruba. Have you ever heard someone say, why do I have to teach my child Yoruba? Yoruba of all languages. Excuse me. Why do I have to teach my children Yoruba? Today, we're learning why we have to teach our children Yoruba. Why we need to teach our children the Yoruba language. But before we go, I would like to introduce myself to you. And this is very interactive. I want you to send your comments. I want you to send your likes. Give me hearts. Give me likes, your questions, and we'll answer everything today. Okay, before we go, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Odunayo, and I'm a lawyer by profession. I am a Yoruba language advocate too. I teach children to learn to speak Yoruba, taking them from not speaking Yoruba at all to conversational fluency. Okay, so today we're talking about the benefits of teaching our children Yoruba. Why do I have to teach my children Yoruba? I've seen people saying, why do I have to teach my children Yoruba? Hey, I don't want my children to understand Yoruba. I want to say some secret things and I don't want my children to know what I'm saying. Really? So today we're going to bust all the myths. We're going to tell us the real reasons why we must teach our children Yoruba. The first reason is identity. Ìdánimọ̀. Yoruba pè ní ìdánimọ̀. Àwọn elédè òyìnbó pè ní identity. Ìdánimọ̀. What is identity? Identity is who you are, how the world perceive you. If you see a Yoruba person, you don't need any introduction. You just know this person is a Yoruba person. The way we do our mannerism, the way we express ourselves shows that we are Yoruba, and that is identity. Language is key to identity. Language is key to identity. If I say I'm from a particular place and I cannot speak the language of that place, it does not encompass the totality of who I am. So language is key to identity. If you want your children to know that they are Yorubas, there's a need for you to teach them that language. I hear people say, no, if I come on mini Yoruba, French, if I come on Miko, and I'm like, is your child a French person? Tomorrow if they say the French people should line up, your child be amongst the French. So you say, if I come on Miko, Yoruba, Spanish, if I come on Miko. Is your child or children Hispanic? So there's a need for us to give our children the total identity of who they are, and language is key to that identity. I can't say I'm from a particular place and I can't speak that language because of the totality of that identity. So there's a need for us to teach our children this identity. It's all encompassing. When you take language out of the identity, you water it down. It is nothing at all. The language is something that is key to identities. So the second thing I'll be talking about is the community you give to your children. The community you give to your children. There's a need for you to give them that community. Have you ever been to the mall and you see someone speaking Yoruba? You automatically connect with that person. It's as if that person is your family member. You've not seen them before. If you've ever experienced something like this, I want you to put in the comment section, connection. You just go to the mall, you see someone speaking Yoruba, and instantly you connect with this person as if it's your family member, as if you've known him or her before. That is community, that is connection. And this I don't want you to take from your children, because it's key, is important to who they become. If you get to a church and people are speaking your language, you automatically connect with this person. It's not because they are black, no. It's when they speak that connection happens. So it's the language that forms that connection. It's the language that's the basis of the connection. So if your children can speak Yoruba, you are giving them a big community to live in. I'm not sure there's any part of the world that you don't find Yorubas. So if your children can speak that language, you give them community in any part of the world they find themselves. Our children will leave Nigeria, they will leave Africa, they will leave the western part. Even when they get to, anywhere they get to in the world, the community of being able to speak their language is key. It gives them that connection, that community that no one can take away from them. So that's the second part. The first one I talk about is identity. Identity, language is key to our identity. The second one is the community you have to give to your child. I will tell a story at this point. Sometimes ago, my brother lives in Canada, and he told me about this story. That in their office, they have many Indians. Indians, they are everywhere. I love those people. They are everywhere, and they go with their language. So there's this, every time they have break, all the Indian people will gather on the same table and eat. But there's this particular Indian guy that does not know how to speak the language. When everybody gathers, the first time he gathered with them, they were speaking in their language, eating, how the Indian people do. But this person could not, because he could not speak their language. After a while, he just took himself and started sitting isolatory in a particular table, not joining the other Indians. Why? Because he could not speak his language. So I don't want your children to get to a place and they cannot speak, they cannot connect because they cannot speak their language. They cannot speak the Yoruba language that they call themselves to be. So I want you to think about that connection. Your child will not always be with you. Your children will not always be with you. They will go out of, go to a different parts of the world. But if they can speak the language, there will be someone that they can connect with anywhere. I remember even when I moved to America, it's because I could speak this language, the connection I have with people telling me that, that is where you shop, that is where you buy that thing, that is where you go to, was key. So the first benefit of teaching our children is the identity we give them. The second one is the connection. They find themselves anywhere they can connect. Anywhere they find themselves, they can connect. The third one is the employment opportunity. Have you heard people say, me Yoruba she, me Yoruba teacher, me Yoruba she, me Yoruba teacher, me call Yoruba. Gone are those days. And you can put it in the comment section. Gone are those days. I'm so excited to inform you that in year 2015, the London Metropolitan Police made it part of their requirement. But before you can join the police force in London, you must be able to speak one other language. And it interests you to know that this language, part of those languages, there's Yoruba language. If you are with me here, just put Yoruba in the comment section, Yoruba language. That is if you find yourself in London, your children are raised in London, or you even migrate to London and your children want to join the police force. If they can speak Yoruba, is an added advantage for them. Tomale saw the Yoruba, what about one? So there's a possibility that if your child cannot speak that language, despite the fact is competent, the employment chances will fall by 50%. So it's not the gun at the day. No Yoruba show, no Yoruba show. If you come on Yoruba, employment opportunity abound for a Yoruba speaker anywhere in the world. And in America, and some days ago, someone was telling me too that before you can be drafted into the army, you must be able to speak another language apart from English. Gone are the days when we say English. Everybody can speak. Majority of people can speak English. So what does your child have to offer apart from the English he or she is speaking? What does your child have to offer apart from the English language he or she is speaking? So if your child can speak Yoruba, he was telling me that before you can be grafted to the US Army, you must be able to speak another language apart from English. Please, parents, don't cut off the opportunities for your children because you've not taught them Yoruba. Take it upon yourself that these children must learn this language. All the security agencies in the world are looking for people that can speak another language apart from English. So English is not the main thing now. Let your children know their roots, and once they know it as their identity, you give them connection, you give them employment opportunities. Anywhere they get to in the world, they can be employed. So many security agencies are looking for people that can speak the Yoruba language. One person was telling me that before they were grafted into the US Army, they asked them question. Well, how do you say south in your language? How do you say north? Like they are somewhere and they want to describe where they are. How do you say north in your language? How do you say south? How do you say west? How do you say east? Ìlà oòrùn, ìwọ̀ oòrùn, gúúsù, àríwá. How do you say those things in your language? So if your children have not been taught, they will definitely fail that test and they will not be grafted into the US Army. We see people say, go and marry a white man so that you can have green card. Once you are grafted into the US Army, they give you green card, they give you blue passport. you become automatic American citizen. So the time of go and marry Oyibo Akata to give you citizenship is gone. If you can speak this language Yoruba, you are forever settled. I'm telling you. Okay, so having said that, we go to the third one, is the part of raising bilingual children. Raising bilingual children. Most of us when we were growing up, we could speak minimum of 2 languages. Minimum of 2 languages. You could speak English and we could speak Yoruba. Some of us can even speak 3 languages. You could speak the dialect of where we grew up or where we are from. If you are from Ekiti, some people can speak Ekiti properly. Some people can speak, Ondo. Some people can speak Akure. Some people can speak Ilaje. Ooh. Some people can speak Ijesha. Some people can speak Egba. And those languages, you see people that can speak those languages fluently. What they become Akomoje. You watch them with admiration. The thing is so fluent the way they say it. So why would you raise your children to do the monolingual, just to know English, just to speak English? If you teach your children Yoruba, they become bilingual, they can switch. If they want to say something and they don't want someone else to know, it's automatic, they just switch. So that is the same way we are brought up. We either speak Yoruba, taba fẹ́ sọ Yoruba, I sọ Yoruba, taba fẹ́ sọ Òyìnbó, I sọ Òyìnbó, a fẹ́ sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, gbogbo ẹ̀ la fẹ́ sọ èdè ìlú wa ńkọ́, a tún lè sọ. So when will you cut off all those beautiful language, beautiful experiences of your children? Okay, I've talked about identity, I've talked about community, I've talked about raising bilingual children, I've talked about the employment. Now I'm talking about the language must not die with you. The language must not die with you. There's this thing that I used to say, that what comes to me as a seed will go to the next generation as a fruit. What comes to me as a seed will go to the next generation as a fruit. This language has come to you as a seed. Some people planted it in you. It has germinated. You've gotten from it. When will you allow it to die with you? If you are watching me, I always want you to put it in the comment section. It will not die with me. It will not die with me. Don't allow this language to die with you. Yoruba is a beautiful language. You see people coming from America, coming from England to learn this language. Even Chinese want to learn Yoruba. So we have that Yoruba, that we have everything. Why must we allow it to die with us? There's a need for us to take it to the next generation. There's a need for us to pass it to the next generation. And this brings me to even the last point that I have before we ask questions and all that. The last thing is that not living a life of regret. Not living a life of regret. If you go online and say, learning the second language, you see people saying, I wish my parents taught me my language. Now I'm grown. I wish my parents taught me my language. And sometimes in July, I met a friend and I was chatting with a friend and I asked them, can your children speak Yoruba? He said that is one of his regrets. I said, no, we don't have any regrets. We can still correct the situation. We can still remedy it. So don't allow yourself to have that sense of regret. Or your children growing up and say, my parents never taught me. I wish when they go for job opportunity and they are rejected simply because they could not speak another language. Simply because they could not speak their own language that could have been an added advantage for them. So I don't want you to leave your children with that regret. Neither do I want you to have that regret. Anytime you wake up, is your money. 6 benefits of teaching our children to speak the Yoruba language. The first one is identity. As I do a recap, the first one is identity. Language is key to identity. Your children are first and foremost Yoruba. Whatever it is they now become, they can have blue passport, maybe an American citizen, born in America, and have American citizen, or their father is from another tribe. That Yoruba is who they are. They have, that is the way the world perceives them. The second one is the community, the connection you are giving to your children. Anywhere they find themselves in the world, there's no part of the country, the part of the world that a Yoruba person is not living. They get this connection. I have people telling me experiences that, when I was going, I met one Yoruba person speaking, and I say, and we became friends, and now my children go there. They are like the grandparents for the children outside. Their grandparents are in Nigeria, they are in Africa, but they have another grandparent wherever they are, maybe in Canada, maybe in America, because they could speak Yoruba and there's a connection. Please don't take that connection away from your children. We've talked about the employment opportunities. It abounds. You know, I've seen it over and over and over because people can speak the language. Even me as a person, people have approached me, can you do this, can you do this? Because I can speak this language. So don't cut off that employment opportunity from your children. If they can only speak to English, their employment chances are reduced by 50%. Why not elevate it by teaching them that language today? That is one of the benefits. We talked about raising bilingual children, multilingual children. You know, children can speak different languages. They can switch at any particular time. We talked about not allowing the language to die with you. Not allowing the language to die with you. You must not allow this language to die with you. What comes to you as a seed must go to the next generation as a fruit. You must not allow it to die with you. We talked about not living a life of regret. Not living a life of regret. Your children don't have to grow up and say, I wish my daddy taught me this. I wish my mommy taught me this. I wish someone taught me the Yoruba language when I was growing up. I wish they gave me opportunities to learn. Please, don't allow your children to have that sense of regret. And don't allow yourself to I've seen parents say, I wish I started early. I wish I taught my children to speak Yoruba, but you still have time now. For you to be watching this live streams with me, that means you are interested in teaching your children. You want to know the benefit. And another thing is that the cognitive development. The research has shown that people that can speak more than one language, they have this brain, their brain is developed in a particular way that other people that can only speak one language, their brain is not developed in that way. And I can see that, so I see my children when I say, Kini ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ní Yoruba, Kini ẹ kó sọ Yoruba, I see them turning, literally like their brain turning, and trying to pick out that word from wherever it is in their brain. So, taba komo Yoruba, their brain to ọpọlọ wọn and call ọpọlọ wọn láti jí. Instead of them just being just English and they can speak English, but when they speak another language, their brain is being developed. So, I don't know if anybody has questions at this point. We can ask our questions in the comment section. I'm willing to answer any question. So if you don't have any question, I'll be asking you, what is your take home? What is it that that jumped at you out of all this thing I said? I said like 6 reasons why we must teach our children Yoruba. What is that one thing that jumped at you from everything we've said? We've talked about giving your children the identity, the connection, the community you give them anywhere in the world. We've talked about the employment opportunity. All the security agencies all over the world are looking for people that can speak another language apart from English. So if your child can speak Yoruba, it's an added advantage. The London Metropolitan Police made Yoruba is there. You can Google it. London Metropolitan Police requirement for joining. You will see Yoruba as a language that your child must speak. I want you to put in the comment section what you've learned from this live stream, or if you have any question, please put it in the comment section. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for coming to this live stream. You are appreciated and I love you, and keep teaching your children Yoruba. Ẹ máa kọ́ ọmọ yín ní Yoruba, ṣùgbọ́n ká tó lọ, a máa kọrin Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ni ẹ́, Yorùbá ni wá. Inú mi dùn pé Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ni ẹ́, Yorùbá ni wá. Inú mi dùn pé Yorùbá ni mí. Ó dàbọ̀.